Welcome back to the Just Berry podcast, everybody. Today's guest is Mikael Avatar Stjernvall, Paralympic world record holder, artist, author, and life resurrection coach. From standing on the Paralympic podium in Atlanta in 1996 to losing almost everything in the 2000s, his health, relationships, and sense of purpose, Mikael knows both global victory and personal zeros. From rock bottom, asking, how the hell did I end up here? He rebuilt his life through simple 1% daily changes, relocating to Thailand, and awakening what he calls the inner avatar, the unbreakable self that survives the storm and rises wiser. This is going to be a conversation about falling apart, finding peace, reclaiming your power, one small choice at a time. I'm very excited to dive into this with you, Mikael. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for coming. Let me come in here.
Yes.
One of my favorite subjects in life.
Good. So one thing that just hit me right off the bat was reading your story about how you were born dead. Could you walk us through that a little bit? Obviously, you don't remember when you were born, but tell us about that experience from what you've heard.
From I have heard, it's like my mom came to the hospital. They tried to save me. They couldn't save me. After 10, 15 minutes, I wasn't breathing at all. They put me amongst the dead children at the hospital, and about 45 minutes passed and saw me breathing. So that's how I started my life. My mother thanked the doctor for saving me, blah, blah, blah. But the doctor told, don't thank me yet, because if you have no air for that long time, the possibility of you walking, turning in your bed, eating by yourself, have a family, driving a car, that's nearly impossible. The doctor was totally wrong. That was the start of my life. But it has never stopped me from achieving what I want to achieve in my life.
That's so inspiring. I know that you have seen the highest levels of athletic achievement. Tell us about your journey with that. What got you into athletics?
I had a friend, and we were at my grandparents' place, and he was training, and he was really training for the Olympic. And we watched Moscow Olympic in 1980, and he was out running, and I told him I want to go running with him. So I had my bike, and he was running beside me. Half an hour, he stopped the bike. Now it's your turn. And I remember there was like going down and then going up. So it's like a 200-meter run. And I was 10, 11. And I ran down, ran up, probably too fast. And I was so tired. So I had to lie down on the ground. I decided I'm going to train to the Olympic. So I started training. I had my first group with people. We were 10, 12 people from 7 to 30, I think the oldest one that I trained. And after 10 years, they told me there is this thing called Paralympic. I didn't know because I was training for the real Olympic. But when I got this Paralympic idea, I knew I was going to go there. And 7 years after that, in 1996, I was in the Paralympic. And I ran even final in 200 meters. From that 88 in 2006, I achieved my goal with the Paralympic. So that's a short version of what happened.
What was it like when you had achieved that, and looking back and seeing how far you came? What did that feel like?
I thought it should have happened something magic. So when I was on the plane back and I came back, I was living in Sweden. So I landed in Stockholm and I thought something magic would happen. And I was in the final in 100 and 200 meter, but I didn't achieve something special there. But I was a long jumper, so I had broke the world record in long jump in front of 68,000 people.
Wow.
That achievement in a lifetime. And I thought this magic spark or whatever that was hitting at the airport, why is nothing happen? Why is whatever I was feeling should happen, but nothing happened. And I was so disappointed. And here, everything, my whole life fell down. I stopped with sport. It was very complicated. I didn't know how to live a normal life. And so all this glory, all this whatever people think, it's not there. I thought it should be magical. But after a long while, I understood that I have met only one person who have had a world record. And normally I meet like 10, 50,000 people a year, and only one with the world record in 30 years. So I know it's the enormous achievement, but the backside of it is a long way from the 200-meter downhill up to come where I am today. A balanced life, all the sorrows that I train instead of fixing my life. It's a long way. And I know people out there on your channel struggle with things happen in the past. And I have gone through a lot.
Yeah, so it sounds like you put in all this time and effort and energy into training for the Olympics, and then once you were there, and then once you even broke a world record, and went back to the life after that, you were expecting this like magical kind of moment and like everything would be different, but then you realized, oh, like, you know, everything's kind of the same. And then you were like, how do I live life outside of the sports world or training so much? Am I right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
correct.
And so is that where you had that moment where you were thinking, how the hell did I end up here?
Yeah, because I think it's a good sentence. Because when I start coaching people, life coaching and all the stuff I have done for a long time, most people I ask, how did you end up here? They have no clue. Well, I wake up, I went to school, I met this girl or a woman, and man, married, got children, buy the car, buy the house. But how did you know it just happened? They have no clue. So then when you start taking different part of the life, the happiness that people are searching for. It's today, it's here now. It's not ahead, it's not behind. I told my friend yesterday, next year is the best year of my life. It should always be the best year. It doesn't matter what you did before, because you have a chance next year in about 2 weeks to create the best year. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 80, 200 years. It's always further down the line, I create my best life.
I love that. I think even scaling it down so we can say next year is going to be the best year, or tomorrow is going to be the best day, or then taking it even more into the present. Today's going to be the best day. This hour is going to be the best hour. Kind of bringing it down into where we are now and recognizing, like you said, happiness exists in the here and now.
And it's the small things on daily basic. It's not the big changes I call it 1% change. You only need to change 1%. Why? Because the effect of that is a chain reaction. And this chain reaction takes you somewhere else. And you have to make the change. It doesn't have to be big, but it has to be true. And then everything changes. I
Right.
can give so many examples of that.
The big changes are always made up of small changes. It's that 1%.
Yeah, I had this guy. This is one of my favorite stories. He woke up one morning and he called me and he was so depressed and everything is very bad. He was sad, no point of living. And I told him, if you should lie, you should lie big. And he said, what do you mean? Yeah, but it's not true what you're saying. So it's better you say, what a fantastic day today. It's the same lie, but the energy is so much bigger. He called me back in 2 weeks because he woke up and he said, what a fantastic day. And then after 2 weeks, he called me and said, it worked because
Wow.
it's still a lie, but he feels much, much better. That's like a small thing, but it's a big impact.
And it just shows the importance of your mindset too, which I'm sure is a big part of your journey. I'm curious because I know some of physical conditions, like, or other conditions that often limit us in life, some are visible, like your condition, cerebral palsy, but there's so many other conditions, and oftentimes we can't even see them. Like, people are struggling with feeling depressed or very anxious or whatever it may be. How have you not allowed cerebral palsy to be a limiting factor in your life and your dreams?
The biggest thing I think is the mindset. I don't think myself as a person with cerebral palsy. When I was 4 years old, I wanted to be mountain climber. My hand was locked, my feet was opposite. I ran to my mom and said, I want to be a mountain climber. And she told me, you can't make money on that. But she so wrong because 15 years later, I was a rock climber instructor. So I teach people how to climb rocks. So you can do anything if you have the mindset. And I know when I go to some restaurants in the West, they don't let me in because they think I'm doing drugs or whatever. Here in Thailand, they don't let me in because I have bad karma. Because they believe that I was like a mass murderer in my previous life. But my girlfriend, before my wife, she told me there is a lot of other restaurants. Let's go. So I cope with this as fast as I go out because they think I'm different. But there is so many other choices. When I was younger, I was very mad, angry, how people treat me. Today, I think it's lack of knowledge. It's only lack of knowledge. And we all have lack of knowledge in many situations, but you don't need to act on it. You don't need to. I can keep my friends. They know who I am. I don't need to push people that they will never understand. It doesn't matter what I do. I can never convince them to anything.
Right. And I think with the right people in your life, you're not going to have to waste your time or energy trying to convince them, because they will just accept you as you are, and they're not going to just see you for that label. And I think that's a big part of the mindset, is not allowing an external label to limit or to determine how far you can go or what you can do in life. And so you're an amazing example of that.
And sometimes I do stuff that I wasn't meant to do. One time I was cutting onion and my hands shaking. And to cut an slippery onion. I mean, she came in and told me sometimes some things you are not meant to cut onions, but I'm stubborn trying to do more things
Yeah.
that I'm not meant to do it. I should focus on the things that is reasonable, not the things that merely impossible.
Yeah, I really like how you said that there are some things you're not meant to do. And so I think that also gives us a chance to receive more, to receive help, to let other people help us in our path. And so we don't have to do it all by ourselves.
Yeah, we in Sweden, you have a straw in the coffee. I have a straw in the coffee, milk, or whatever I'm drinking. In Sweden, I never used it. Never. Because I should manage to take my cup and not spill. So I forced myself to do this for 40 years instead of giving it up. Here, when I get order a straw, they don't care. They don't care. It doesn't matter. And here we come to the small things that we talked about before. It's the small things that change the way you act after 1 week, 10 weeks, 10 years. Small things. It's not the big things.
Yeah, going back to that, the 1% daily changes, right?
Yeah.
So I know you're in Thailand right now. And
Yeah.
when did you move there and what has that done for you?
I moved here 2009, so it's about 16 years ago, because when you shake your hands like I do, your body, the muscles you get pain. Or after 40 years of shaking muscles every day, you get pain. And normally you have to take medicine for cramp, for pain. In 2009, a friend of mine said, you can borrow my house in Thailand because it was so cold in Sweden. So I went here for 3 weeks, and after 5 days, I had no pain. I was
Wow.
pain-free. Was 3 weeks, went back to Sweden, and after 3, 4, 5 days, I had the same pain in Sweden. So I thought, why should I live in a country where I have pain when I can live in a country pain-free? So after 3 months, I moved here to test live for 3 months. I went back 1 week, and then I moved here. I had a studio with a lot of paintings. I was married, but I told my ex-wife, no, why should I stay? So I just moved. I didn't know anybody. I had very little money, but for me to be pain-free for 16 years, that's also what I want to give people. You have to adapt when there is certain crossroads where you have to go left instead of right. If I should have stayed in Sweden, probably I would be dead today, because most people with cerebral palsy, they start to take medicine, and the medicine kills you because you get organ failure and so on. So many people with cerebral palsy, they don't get to be 50 years old. And it's not because they have cerebral palsy, it's because they take organ failure. So that's a short story how I ended up here, because I was pain free. That was a more value that Sweden could offer.
It takes a lot of courage to do that, to move without having everything set up like exactly for you to land, the perfect way. I think many people, that's where their holdup is. They wait for the perfect opportunity for everything to be set up, and then they take action where you recognize that you are in pain and there's something you can do about it, and so you took action.
And when I stopped with sport, there's much things happen around that, but I got injured. I made operation, and the glow for sport disappeared. And I said to every people, when the glow is gone, I will never go back. So I've never been in a track and field arena since then because the glow was gone. There was nothing there that gave me happiness or whatever. So when the glow is gone, you have to close that door and go on with your life. When the glow in Sweden was gone, I closed the door. Don't go back. I have been 2 times to Sweden for 10 days in 16 years to do public speaking engagement. But that's it. The door is closed. I will never go back there. And that's also when you take this 1%, you really have to close whatever you have back behind to go forward, because otherwise you don't get this chain reaction. It will never happen because you have like a back door. If it doesn't work out, I can always go back, but it never works. Never. I have had so many clients that when they have this back door, it doesn't work. But when they close that door, then everything happens. It's not the easy road, but it's worth it. It's worth every step. It's the best thing I have done to move to Thailand, to develop, to see a different culture and learn. I mean, I was a skilled coach in Sweden, so I thought I have figured out everything. When I came here, I saw a different world. I remember this old man sitting outside the temple, and he was so calm, so relaxed, so timeless. And I thought, even if I practice every day the rest of my life, I will never, ever achieve that. It's not possible. So I have opened totally new doors when I came here that have lived my whole life. It's not only the beaches, the warm weather, it's how you see the world. And the more I can see my world, others' world, the more experience I get and the more happiness I get. That's my philosophy.
I know you do a lot of coaching with clients and you call it resurrection coaching. Tell us a little bit about that.
People live, you tell, like a half dead, half alive. Everybody know it's like living half alive and the other half is dead. But you have to wake the other part up. You have to find this 1%. And I'm doing this app. I will release this app maybe in 1-2 months. And it's for pause. You have to stop. Every day I stop, reflect. Is this the best way for me to go forward in my life? It's like a 1% stop. It can be a meditation, it can be reading a short text, it can be whatever, but you have to stop, reflect. I'm here now. What's the best next step? And so this app is like stop, reflect. Day 1 is 1 minute reflection. Day 2 is 2 minutes. Because if you're not do normally this, you can't start with 10 minutes. It's not possible. So I started 1 minute first day, 2 minutes second day, 3 minutes third day. And I have taken all my blog posts, all my diaries over the years. I'm a writer and put in this app. So it's my experience all over the years and daily reflection, and it's evidence-based. So what do you need day 1 to stop? What do you need day 2? Because I was an assistant researcher for 10 years. So I tried to do it evidence-based up to this science. How to train your brain to make better choices. And that's what I've been coaching people. Stop. How the fuck did I end up here? How did I really end up here? How, when you know that, then you go, what's the best path from here? That's what I'm really, really passionate about, to help people open their doors. I don't tell so much different from other life coaches or whatever I should call myself. But I have that extra layer. I've been born with cerebral palsy. I have moved to a different continent. I have broke a world record, so I see the world differently. That's
Mm-hmm.
why people, wow. So it's only the angle how you can see your world. And
Mm-hmm.
this or coaching or course that I have is to see a different angle. And
Mm-hmm.
that means you do different left, right, whatever you are in your life.
Right. Yeah. Pausing and taking those different choices and getting help from other people who can see they have a different perspective and, kind of helps you get out of your own head and your own set way of seeing things. That can be super helpful. So we've got the app for your link, the waitlist. We'll link that to the show. And I wanted to just touch on your book called Life Reset. And I know you shared there's 5 steps that you can take to reset your life. I'm going to read them and then I want you to um, maybe pick one of them that you want to touch on. So we've got find your vision, make your life plan, be accountable, stick to your goals, don't do this.
Yeah, I had a lecture in Bangkok with young people who were between 12 and 15 years old. So I thought on the way in the car there, what should I give them? How can I give them some things that they will proceed in their life? So I thought they want to be a superstar. They they are in the age they want to be this massive singer, football player. They want to be a superstar. So how do you be a superstar? So I said, okay, number one, you have to have a really good autograph. So I write my name. You can't read what I write, Michael, and my last name is Stjernvall. But if you translate it, it's Star Hill. So I write the star and the hill. That's a unique autograph. And they all laughed. And then I said, number two is you have to have passion. You have to have passion because you need to make 5,000 hours. I broke the world record. It was 15,000 hours of training for 6 seconds. So when you have passion for something, you have to have the passion to enjoy all these 5,000 hours. When you have the 5,000 hours, then you will make money. It doesn't matter what field you're in. It doesn't matter if you have talent or talent. But if you have the passion to do 5,000 hours, then you're on the right track. And number three, yes, continue. That's it. Good autograph, some passion for 5,000 hours, and yes, go that way, and everything will be solved. That it's that simple.
I love those tips that you shared with the students about getting a good signature, finding something you're passionate about, and just sticking with it, and the money will come. But I really do think a lot of people get focused on the money aspect first, and then like they end up doing something for their maybe even their whole life where they stop and they do think, oh, how the hell did I get here? And what am I doing? I don't even like this. I think it's really good how you're saying approaching it from the mindset of finding something that you're passionate about, stick with it, and then money will follow.
Yeah, and the thing with this, I try to do things simple. It needs to be simple because if it's simple, it's doable. And one of my mottos, I think you call it motto, is can I move to Thailand with no money? I don't know anybody. You can too. Maybe you cannot go to the Olympic, but there is this old lady. She started track and field when she was 72 years old. I think still she is the most world record holder in the world because every year she was 73, she broke 5, 6 world record, and 74, 75. So when she stopped at 84 years old, she had like 158 world records. So
Wow.
it's never, ever too late to start with nothing. You can do whatever you want if you have the passion. But if you don't have the passion, don't do it.
You also talk about your inner avatar. How would you describe the inner avatar, and how do people know whether that inner avatar is asleep or dead versus alive?
That's a really interesting question. First, I want to say my name is Mikael Avatar Stjernvall, Starhill, if you translate it. It's my real name. I have Avatar in my passport. It's my real name. So, what's the inner avatar? What's the inner glow in yourself? People who have children, every time they see their child, something happens. It's like a spark. It's something happening inside of you. That's your inner avatar. It's unconditional love for something. Before, I had a lot of people around me all the time. I mean, a lot. But I was alone inside, even with all these people. And for me, if I translate it, it was lack of my inner avatar. Because the inner avatar is never lonely, is never sad. It's like a glow within yourself. And when you have that, you can see it in the people's eye. And people you don't know come up to you on the street. Even if I have celebrity, wow, it's not, they don't want to date me, but they see something in you. I want to have that. And if you have a person in your life that if you, I want to have what this person has, they have this inner avatar glowing to anything, anybody. It is just there. Like, you have met these people. They are incredible. And they do nothing. I have met some really famous people in the world. And when they walk in the room, even if it's 200 people, it gets quiet because they don't talk. They don't. They just walk into the door, and you know now something is going to happen. You have this, whatever it is that we can't describe, but it's like the magic I was searching when I came back from the Olympics. This, whatever it is. So to find that, it's worth every step of the way because you're really free. You don't care about how they have treated you in your life, if you have money or not. You are free for real, really, really free.
Yeah, and that freedom comes from within, and nobody's giving it to you. You've given it to yourself by putting in the
Yeah.
work.
And Nelson Mandela, if people know who that is, he said to the people around him when he was in Yale, they can take everything, they can put us in prison, but they can never take my soul. What I'm thinking, what I know, they can never touch it, ever.
I love that quote. I've got two more questions for you. One is going to be for somebody listening today who feels kind of buried in their life right now. They're in the middle of their storm. What is the first 1% change that they could make today?
I think the good example is the man who called me in the morning sitting on the bed and only say, what a fantastic life. Even because if you should lie big. Say it's fantastic, even if it's not. I had this lady doing an interview, and she used to stay in front of the mirror, and then she looked at herself, and then she did high five, high fiving, and that changed her life. So change the thinking, feeling, whatever you feel. It's not true. If I think the same as today in 1 year, then I haven't developed, then I haven't challenged myself. I hope that every year I'm somewhere else. I don't want to live a half life. I want to grow. And the thing to grow is to do high five, think it's a fantastic day. That's the first step. That's so important.
Very simple and very impactful, I would say. Last question is going to be, what would you say to 10-year-old Michael today? And what would he say to you?
I have no regrets. I will tell him, go. You're on the right path.
Beautiful.
I really, he was doing everything right. Everything. Seriously.
I love that. Well, what do you think he would say to you?
I think he would say, why is life so hard? Because in our head, we can think quick, but to achieve it in the real world takes so long time. Even with AI, you can make quick questions, get information. But if you want it in your muscle, body, soul, you still have to do 5,000 hours. There is no escape plan. You have to consistently in. You cannot be a basketball player with AI. You have to shoot the ball. There is no middle way.
No, that's a really good point. You have to put in the work for anything that you want. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Michael. I have loved this conversation. You have a lot of wisdom and you just emanate positivity and you do have that glow. And so I hope that you are taking the time for yourself to really look at how far you've come and to just give yourself your own pat on the back and just know that you are right where you're meant to be.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. Share this episode with anyone who came to your mind as you were listening today, and I hope that you're able to get some insight into your own personal glow, what helps you to feel alive, some tips to help you become even more alive, and maybe even recognize some doors that it's time to close so that you can fully move forward into your life. And I'm going to work on my cool signature and I'll send you a photo, Michael. You can tell me if it's cool or not. All right. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode.